Welcome to the first episode of Analogue Diaries. In each episode I explore a different analog camera and film stock. In this episode I go on a family weekend trip and I take the Olympus Mju II and 2 rolls of Ektar 100 with me. With analog photography rapidly increasing in popularity, I know a lot of people are searching for information on this topic. And same as you, I'm also trying to figure out when to use specific types of film stocks, how all these cameras work and what kind of analog cameras there are. And for that reason, I wanted to start this first episode with one of the most basic analog cameras I could find, which is this little compact point-and-shoot, the Olympus Mju II. The Olympus Mju II is a compact camera that shoots 35mm film. It has a fixed 35mm f2.8 lens. It's from 1997 and it's completely automatic, weather sealed and pocket sized.
Why can't you see me on my knees for you, baby? I'm falling down and I need you to catch me. Oh, my intimacy is all I need from you to leave. Oh, my intimacy is all I need from you to leave.
Of course, you can load this camera with every 35mm film stock, but I chose to use Kodak Ektar 100. This is a color negative film, very popular. It has very vivid colors, nice saturation and a lot of contrast. And it's perfect for the bright and sunny days we have during our trip. It's primarily designed for landscape photography and not really for portraits. But since I didn't want to incorporate portraits of my family in this video anyway, I thought Ektar 100 would be the perfect fit. I had my film developed at a Dutch store called HEMA, where they scanned and printed my photos as well. I did not do any post-processing, this is just how the images came back from the lab. They developed, printed and scanned the photos. I really like how they came out, they have warm tones and nice contrast. For me, that's one of the best things of shooting film, getting your images back and enjoying your photography.
Why can't you see me on my knees for you, baby? I'm falling down and I need you to catch me. Oh, my intimacy is all I need from you to leave. Oh, my intimacy is all I need from you to leave.
This video is sponsored by No Digital, the Dutch store for all things analog. And when we started talking about this series, we were trying to come up with different cameras and what kind of film stocks we would show you in this series. And the big question was where to start. So we decided to keep it simple with a point-and-shoot camera that does most things for you. It's a great choice for when you are starting out with film photography or if you just don't want the hassle of adjusting all your settings yourself. This camera is fully automatic, it auto winds and rewinds itself, you just have to point and shoot. Around the time of planning this video, I went on a weekend trip with Jessica's family and I thought this was a perfect opportunity to bring the Mju II with me.
Run away from home, why don't you? 'Cause I did the same just for you. You don't know how much I love you. 'Cause you're home away from home, away from home, away from me alone.
And while the Mju II is rewinding my first roll of Ektar 100, it gives us some time to talk about the photography itself. I did notice that a few shots came back with a strip from the next photo in the frame. The negatives don't have this problem, so I guess the lab just messed up the scanning process. What I really like about the Mju II is how fast it is. You slide it open and it's good to go. The lens is nicely concealed when the lid is closed, so you can carry the camera around in your pocket. I did bring a Leica M6 with me as well on this trip, but I only took a few shots with it. I mainly focused on the Mju II. And by the way, we're still talking about the Olympus Mju II, not Mju II the Pokemon, but for some reason it just reminds me of the Pokemon. I did some analog photography in the past, but it never had much consistency. I just like shooting digital as well. For me, it complements each other in my journey to becoming a better photographer, and I really look forward to take you along during this analog series, sharing my results and mistakes, letting you know what I've learned so you don't have to make the same mistakes as I have. Personally, I feel that shooting film helps me understand photography better. You take photos more deliberate, because every time you press that shutter button, you know you take up a little bit of space under the roll of film. And not having the instant feedback from an LCD screen makes you much more cautious of your frames. And that's why I really like shooting film. We visited a very old little town called Orvelte, a very old time dating back to 1362. This town has a lot of old farms and other buildings, and in 1967 it was designated as a protected site. Some good old Dutch heritage. Perfect for shooting some nice shots. An automatic point-and-shoot film camera like this is very nice to take with you on a family trip, because it takes very little time to use. You just load it with film and shoot away, and you don't have to hassle with your light meter or your exposure settings or anything. Also, when starting with analog photography, it can all get a little bit overwhelming. And I think it's smart to start simple. A point-and-shoot camera, so you can just focus on finding nice compositions and you get to enjoy getting your photos back from the lab, all properly exposed and sharp. So that's the 2 rolls I shot during my weekend trip. Family time is very important to me, and I always have to find the right balance between photography and creating videos and really enjoying my time out with the fam. And having a point and shoot like this, it's very simple, it doesn't take a lot of time to use, and it really adds to the experience of being out with the family. Many thanks to No Digital for sponsoring this video. They have the Mju II for sale on their website, and I put the link below in the description of this video. This series appears once a month on this channel, and next month I will be using my grandfather's Hasselblad to shoot portraits, and I will be using Portra 800 as a film stock. And my question to you is, what kind of camera or what kind of film would you like to see me use in a future video? Let me know in the comments below, and me and No Digital will make it happen. So thank you very much for watching and for subscribing, and I'll see you next week in a regular video about digital photography, or next month in a new episode of Analogue Diaries. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!